But we go and meet everybody and say, hey, great show, and then steal it.
Remember this?
Ameriie?
Yes.
Yeah. Sicko mode. I feel like this is Beyonce was in her nachos for that, for B-Day.
Okay, guys, this situation with Beyonce stealing from other artists is getting out of hand. And the reason why no one is saying more about it is because they'd get shunned from the industry if they so much as breathe a word. But at this point, Ameriie has nothing left to lose. Staying silent has reportedly only gotten her targeted by Beyonce. It is being reported that Ameriie's situation has gotten so bad that she is about to become homeless.
And so I still feel like I haven't reached my peak yet. Like I feel like it's just because it was like just starting and then kind of like I don't want to say things went left.
Yes, I'll admit we all get inspired from somewhere, especially entertainers who have to constantly reinvent themselves. Like they say, there's nothing new under the sun. But the thing is, while other artists give credit when it's due and then put their own spin on it, Beyonce kind of just rips it off and slaps her own name on it. And it gets messy when you notice that she's done it quite a few times. Beyonce's hit song, If I Were a Boy, was never meant for her at all. The song was written by B.C. Jean together with producer Toby Gad after a breakup. The plan was to use the song as her debut, and she began shopping the songs to labels as her lead single. Once Beyonce's team got a whiff of it, she immediately recorded her version of the song and simply told Jean that it was going to be on her album, I Am Sasha Fierce. As expected, B.C. Jean was shocked because she thought the labels were already warming up to finally giving her the budget for her debut album. So she tried to fight it, but eventually had no choice but to give in and got credited as a songwriter. Another struggling singer, Jennifer Armour, also called Beyonce out for stealing the song Baby Boy from her. Back in 2003, Jennifer showed her song, Got a Little Bit of Love for You, to Beyonce's record label, Columbia Records. She heard nothing from them, but heard the song a few months later on the radio when Beyonce came out with Baby Boy. And when she called them out on it and tried to get compensation, Jennifer was shut down. Then on top of that, they even took away Survivor from an upcoming producer, Terrence T-Rob Robinson. He had shown the track to Matthew Knowles, hoping that it would kickstart his career. However, Matthew disappeared with it, and months later, Survivor came out without Terrence's name or credit. Terrence sued them, and they most likely settled out of court, when you think about the numbers that song did. Beyonce then tried to take a page from her father's playbook, and lied at a concert full of fans that she wrote the song Irreplaceable for other women. And I don't know why she would say that, because Ne-Yo came out and exposed that he was the one who wrote the song and gave it to Beyonce. And who can forget the time she copied the dance routine of Italian pop star Lorella Cuccarini for the performance of Run the World at the Billboard Music Awards. As cutting edge and electric as it was, people couldn't help but notice that Beyonce's performance was basically copy and paste down to the last details. It was only after the backlash that Beyonce admitted that she'd seen Lorella's performance and loved it so much. Do you need to hear more before you see where this is going? The upcoming artist never really stood a chance after the songs got taken away, and when she did the same to Ameriie, it just about put a stop to her career, and she is still out here struggling. When Ameriie came out with her debut album All I Have in 2002, her label Columbia Records didn't have a lot of faith in it doing well. But to their surprise, it did numbers, especially the lead single, Why Don't We Fall in Love, that was produced by Rich Harrison. When she shot the music video, Ameriie didn't go over the top. In fact, for most of the video, she wore a white tank top, shorts, and red heels, and just walked through the street. It sounds so simple, but that was enough to keep people hooked on it. And when Beyonce dropped the Crazy in Love video, folks were shocked. She was wearing the exact same outfit Ameriie had on, right down to the red heels. And do y'all want to know what's crazy? She had Ameriie's walk down pat. And the focal point at the start of the video was her just walking. Now, you might want to say once again that this is just a coincidence, and overlap happens, especially since Beyonce was also in Columbia Records. But what didn't look like a mistake was when Beyonce started working with Rich Harrison, the same producer who worked on Ameriie's debut album. Ameriie had several go-go infused tracks on there and admitted that she and Rich worked together to make it her sound. She said, "He was able to create based on what I was bringing. I was like his muse. For me, we were like musical soulmates. When it came to anyone really doing anything, there was going to be an element of me and Rich in that, because we created something special together. It's hard to get away from it. They also worked on her sophomore album together, and when it was released in 2005, the title track One Thing was a hit. In fact, Amerie had to leak the song because her label was going to give it to J-Lo, and she didn't want to remove it from her album rollout. And that song was really what solidified her sound.
One Thing came out in 2004 because I leaked it over Christmas because everyone would be on break, so they can't stop anything. Exactly. So I was like, I'm gonna be out here, I'm gonna drop a match. You know? For me, I was like, look, I think I might get dropped. So I just want people to hear the music. I don't really care about getting paid for it. I just want people to hear it because I believe in it. And they're on Christmas break, so we can just do it. And at the time, they were trying to like give the record to somebody else. They were trying to do that, but they couldn't because I wrote on the record too, so you can't just take it. And that was frustrating for them, I guess.
But why?
Now, Amerie has cleared the air and said she was never going to sing Crazy in Love. A lot of people asked her why she wasn't on that track, since it sounded a lot like her. But she flat out said that Rich never played it for her. He might have written it for her, but gave it to Beyonce as soon as he got a better deal. But when it comes to Beyonce's song Greenlight, the story starts to look different. The song was produced by the Neptunes, and Beyonce and Rich Harrison was no way involved in it. Yet anyone who listened to the song couldn't help but notice how similar it was to Amerie's One Thing. Both songs were up-tempo R&B tracks, driven by fast, syncopated drum beats and punchy horn samples. I mean, both songs even had the same BPM of 132, along with very similar vocal deliveries. It was like they both shared the same DNA. And according to Amerie, that isn't far from the truth. By the time she'd put out Crazy in Love and started work on other projects, Beyonce reportedly already had enough time to sit and study Amerie's sound from the first 2 albums she'd put out, and was able to replicate it in other songs, including Greenlight. There were only a handful of Black artists with the popularity and backing to compete with Beyonce, especially after the success of her debut album Dangerously in Love, plus the success she had from her days in Destiny's Child. And unfortunately, Amerie wasn't one of them. And the consequences of that can still be seen today. While Beyonce went on to become one of the richest entertainers in the world, recent divorce documents revealed that Amerie's reported monthly income was just $5,735. Think about that for a second. This is the same woman who gave us Why Don't We Fall in Love and One Thing, yet court records show she was bringing in less than $6,000 a month. For the woman who helped define an entire era of R&B, that's why so many fans look at what happened between Amerie and Beyonce and wonder what could have been if Amerie's career had received the same support, budget, and opportunities. Instead, one artist became a global empire, while the other was left fighting to stay relevant.
People would be like, wait, that's not your record? Why did he give that record to you? And I'm like, he never played that record for me. But after our first album, see the thing, what happened during that time?
Tell us.
Like after...
Tell us what happened. This is going to be all over the internet.
After the...
This is going to be a whole line, girl.
It's really simple. It's like we did the first album, right? And after the first album came out, it made a lot of noise and people really loved that album. And Jay loved the album too.
They were both in the urban division of Columbia Records, competing for the same resources. And Beyonce got the bigger budget and a team with years of media experience and industry connections. Amerie couldn't compete with that, and even more, Beyonce knew she had the upper hand and continued to go in until Amerie parted ways with Columbia Records after they botched the release of her album. She got so disillusioned with the industry over what happened that for 10 years she couldn't listen to Beyonce's music or that of any other artist. It only reminded her of her own career and how quickly everything went downhill, and she couldn't recover from it.
That was kind of like a defense mechanism, actually. So I went through like 10 years where I didn't listen to anything.
Why?
But generally, I thought that it was because now I'm writing. My novel's coming out June 10th, by the way. I thought it was because, you're in writing mode and you're not in that right now. But then I realized later, I was like, you weren't listening to music because you were trying to avoid it. You felt like it was going to make you angsty because it's going to make you want to make music, which is going to make you kind of like, oh, but this is the time, and how last time this, and maybe that won't work, and how do I do this, and how do I do that? So all you're gonna do is be frustrated. And so that just made me be like, I'm not listening to any music.
And with how things played out, people believe that Amerie was just another competition that Beyonce had to remove. I've always thought Greenlight sounded like One Thing even before I was aware of the Beyonce versus Amerie debate. Beyonce copied everyone. She also stated this herself. Amerie walked so Beyonce could run. Do you guys think Beyonce copied from Amerie? Sound off in the comments and make sure you like and subscribe. See you later, baddies!